Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 42. We are back in the Clane. First it's Greenwood, now I'm saying Clane. Clay Greenfield shop
around here.
Man.
After the race last weekend, you earned a lot of respect.
Heck yeah.
Especially from a lot of our listeners.
So, Left Hand, what'd you do with guns this week?
I have had a busy week with guns and NASCAR this week. Went with our buddy Sam and Gabe and Terry up to the 5-star retreat. And we did just a good day of out relaxing, shooting. Took a variety of different guns. Got some good little tips from Sam. You know, he's
nice.
Always coming up with little golden nuggets of information for us.
Did you get some video?
I didn't. It was I wanted to keep it relaxed. I didn't want to bring the video camera. Just us hanging out, having a good time, and shooting the you-know-what and the guns.
Yeah,
and then
here's your
another
crazy
project
ass.
that I've been working on.
You crazy
last couple of weeks is I've had the opportunity to do some ride-alongs with a bounty hunter friend of mine.
Not dog.
Not dog.
Does he have a mullet?
No.
Oh.
No.
It'd be better if he had a mullet.
No, he's bigger than dog. But yeah, so he's invited me along on a couple of ride-alongs where they're picking up the people who have jumped bond. There's been this one guy that we've been casing for about a week, and
You even got the lingo down. You've been casing him.
We've been casing him out for about a week, interviewing people, getting leads, tracking him down, find out where. We've been all over Nashville, we've been all over Murfreesboro. We even served a warrant on one house, busted in, and did a search of the house. Had the SWAT team that was backing us up.
You wear your fancy suit when you go to do that?
I did have my big boy pants on when I did that. No, I just had regular street clothes on. Now, the first night, I will tell you this, and it's going to make me sound like a geek. The first night he called me, he said, "Hey, dude, you want to? Here's your opportunity. We got one coming up. Get ready. I think it's going to go down tonight." So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, how much time do I got? He goes, well, get ready, and I'll call you and be on standby. So, dude, I put my SWAT pants on. I put my drop leg holster. I got my shoulder holster on. Have my shotty loaded, ready to go. I have my go pack with all my extra magazines and ammo, and just in case we needed a sniper rifle. I had that in tow as well. So I was geeked out.
Wait a minute, you had a sniper rifle in tow?
This was just one person you were trying to get, right?
Yeah, just some little.
You never know if you need a sniper to serve a warrant on somebody that skipped a court date.
But this guy is like heavy into the drug world, so he's got all these nefarious people that are surrounding him. So you never know.
Do you still get paid if you snipe them for 100 yards out?
I don't know. Headshot. Maybe it's a headshot. That's how geeky I got with it. So I was all pumped up. Adrenaline's pumping. I'm waiting. An hour goes by. I shoot him a text. I'm like, all right, we doing this? He's like, just waiting on a couple of leads to come in. He goes, stay on standby. So another hour goes by. So about the third hour, my adrenaline is just as jazzed as it could get. And he calls me. He's like, don't look like it's going to go down tonight. He said, have your stuff ready, because it could be a moment's notice. I had the biggest adrenaline crash that night. I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, so today we get another lead. We've been tracking this one down, and we're like, all right, let's go check it out. It's a new lead, fresh lead. So we go. I can't say names of places, obviously, so I'm just going to keep this as vague as possible.
I'd keep a lot of it as vague as possible, just in case you may or may not have done something you're not supposed to do.
Oh, I did. I was within my rights to do everything that I did, I think. But just in case, yeah. So we're casing this place out where he's supposed to be showing up. We're there for a couple of hours. A couple of the people that had been on our radar were there, so we're like, all right, this is the environment that he would be around. Right when we were because I had to get ready to come to the show, so I was like, dude, I got to go. We're getting close to showtime here. He goes, all right, man, I'll run you back by, and I'll come back by over here and check it out. Well, as he's getting ready to put it in drive, there's this suspicious vehicle pulls up. We're watching it. All right, I said, just hold on just one second. This looks a little out of place here. So we're watching it. And then out of nowhere, this guy in a black hoodie walks up and approaches this vehicle. And he's got a big hood on, so you can't really see who he is. As he gets up there, he pulls his hood off, and my buddy has got the binoculars out. And as soon as he pulled the hood out, he goes, "That's him." I was like, "No." He goes, "Yeah, that's him." I said, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yep." I said, "All right." I said, "Let's do this." So we gave him a minute to see, what he was doing with this Jeep. Apparently they were doing a deal or something, I don't know. And he starts walking away, and he's going back in this little wooded area. And he's getting antsy. He's like, "Man, we're going to lose him. We're going to lose him. We got to go after him now." So just hold on 1 minute. Let's see where he's going. I think he's going to walk up this road right here.
So you're coaching the professional at this point.
Well, I've got a better view than he's got. He can't really see where he's at. So I've got an eye on him, and then his head pops back out from those woods, and he's just strolling up this side street over there.
Okay.
Which is out of the way of, there's no people over there, there's no businesses or anything. I was like, "That's perfect." I said, "Let's do it." So he pulls up. He's got this huge monster Excursion. Roars up right in front of him, slings it in front of him, throws his door open. Dude's getting ready to run. I'm coming around the other side, and I don't know if I should say it or not.
Needless to say, y'all got him.
So, with my backup, he didn't get away. He, what do you say? What's the word? He
surrendered.
He surrendered. Didn't put up a struggle. We took him to the jail, booked him. He got his warrant signed, and that was my first bust. That was pretty exciting. And now I got an opportunity to go to another one this evening.
Wow.
He got another call.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. So we may have him on the show.
Well, my week wasn't anything compared to that.
So
I did buy a new gun.
What?
I got a heck of a deal on a old Smith & Wesson. We estimate around 1947-48 police revolver, 38 special.
Why would you buy that?
I'm going to flip it.
You're going to flip it?
Because the price I paid for it was next to nothing.
Okay. Did you got to restore it or do anything to it?
No, it's getting good condition. So.
Good to go?
Good to go. So I'm going to flip that thing. 38 special.
Cool.
I like it, though. I don't know. I may shoot it a few times and keep it.
You got to shoot it. You do a review on it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So the other thing you did this week, and our returning guest from last week, we get to talk about Clay and the race at Talladega.
I have to say I am a fan now as long as Clay's racing.
I never thought I would say it. And I texted you after the race. I was like, "Tell Clay I'm hooked now as long as he's racing." I've tried. Like,
see, I knew you'd come around.
Yeah, I tried on other
you had no doubt.
races.
Yeah,
and
none whatsoever. Yeah. And if you had been there, you would really be hooked.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
Imagine.
I wish you could have been there. It was nothing like being right there on the track amongst everything.
Pre-race. And what about the first lap when the pack came by? How'd you feel about that?
Oh, dude. It was just like chills.
It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
Wow.
It was awesome. And then being there in the pit, and we're able to hear you guys talking with the headsets. I told you I was trying to talk to you there. I was sitting there carrying on a conversation, and dude's like, "He can't hear you, man."
See, there's all the radios receive, but only a few of them transmit, and that's for a reason.
Yeah, and I understood that now.
No,
but he handed me the headsets, and I thought you wanted to talk to me. I was like, "What?" He goes, "It's Clay." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I put him on. And I go, "Hey, man, what's up?" I said, "You're doing a hell of a race so far, man." I said, "Hang in there." I was just talking.
Did you expect me to go,
and then
nothing much, man. How about you?
I'm just cruising around
hey,
here.
Man, appreciate you coming out. Thanks for hanging out.
My car's stuck on left. I can't do anything but left.
I mean, what else are they going to do in that car? They're just going in a big circle, so,
Yeah.
I figured he had time to chat or,
After watching some of those inside the
Thank
car
God
race
it wasn't
cams. Some of those cams show you that y'all are doing a lot in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, your body's shaking the whole time. Your arms are going all over the place. That's crazy.
And you got your spotter that's talking to you constantly.
The spotters have to work overtime at Daytona and Talladega. And, that
because it's such a big track.
Right. In my mind on the super speedway, they're just as important as we are because there's the information and situation is changing so rapidly that there's no way, as you saw from looking at the truck with the way their headrests are and everything like that, you can't move your head, so all you can see is straight forward, and you have mirrors, but they're not, you just sort of get a an idea of the big picture. You can't look.
I'm sure
specific.
they're shaking and it's hard to see.
And there's a ton of blind spots. So you're relying on what you're feeling. Like you can actually feel trucks around you by the air, but the
airflow changes.
Wow.
But you're relying heavily on the spotter. So it's they definitely work overtime and are very important there.
Now, what was up with the whole buddy system thing? Like the whole race, there was always like two cars that were linked up and coming up to the front.
Like dragonflies having sex?
Yeah, basically.
See, that's what's called the draft, and there is an aerodynamic advantage when multiple vehicles get together. One, because for the second vehicle, because the one in front punches a hole in the air, so they don't have the resistance of the air to drive through. And also, as the airflow goes over the truck, it when it gets to the rear spoiler, it's kind of swirls around and loops back down and clings back to the back of the truck, which slows the whole truck down.
Right.
Well, when there's another vehicle up behind that, it changes the airflow, and the airflow goes over top of both trucks, which so there's different reasons that both trucks are going faster, but they do both go faster. I mean, our lap times will pick up a couple seconds in the draft.
But you were telling me that you can only do that for a certain amount of time because of the airflow, right?
Right. Well, what you're talking about is we draft the whole race.
Right.
And then there's you can tandem where you actually get up on a guy's bumper and push him.
Almost looked like they were connected.
Right.
They're like underneath.
Yeah, and that is even faster than the draft, but the way NASCAR doesn't want us doing that the whole race, so they have limited the grill opening and stuff like that, so you can only do it for about a lap and a half before it overheats.
Okay.
So basically they just want to, because fans didn't like how the race was getting with, paired up with the tandem, so basically we can,
makes it fair.
Yeah, if you need to make a big move, you can hook up, and it's pretty sketchy when you do that. It's not as easy as it looks. I mean, both trucks are in a real, sketchy is a good word, position.
Yeah.
Well, I think the big wreck at the end happened
was
because of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, they have it where we only do it for a couple laps, and I think that's
well, there at that last lap, it was balls to the walls. They didn't care if they blew engine or not. It was just like, hey, this is it.
I think one of them actually did in that last lap because he was smoking pretty bad, the back car of one of the tandems. So it was interesting.
Well, eventually they all started smoking.
And then I felt guilty because every time there was a wreck and they zoomed in on your truck and you saw talking lead real big, I was like, yeah. Oh, wait, they're wrecking. I shouldn't be going so crazy. My dad's looking at me like I'm crazy. But, hey, I've never been through anything like that with our logo and anything that was associated with us.
You got a different level of interest when you got
a dog in the hunt.
You got a dog in the hunt, exactly. Yeah, and that's what made it that much more exciting.
That was fun. It was a blast to watch.
So, give us your analysis of the race.
It was a pretty good race from our standpoint. I told you we qualified 21st, and I was expecting to be in the top 10. We really should have been, but we just sort of miscalculated with the height of the truck, and the front splitter hit the racetrack. And it might not sound like a big deal, but when it hit, I could actually feel the motor bog down when it hit, because that's just like putting on the brakes. When it hits the racetrack, because it's grinding against the track,
that extra drag
slowing it
there.
down. Yeah. So I knew that, I told you before the race, we're probably going to have to come in and make some big adjustments on the first pit stop, but after that we'll be good. And sure enough, the race started, and, I think I picked up some spots, and, we were decent. We weren't just spectacular.
Well, you were doing really good, and you were, picking up positions, and then that one wreck happened, and it screwed up your was it your right and left, both sides, I think.
Yeah.
It screwed up your aerodynamics.
Well, let me get to the pit stop before that, and then we'll talk about that. The first run we were in pretty good shape. We were okay, just not, like I said, not spectacular. So then we come in there's a caution. We come in for the first pit stop, our first opportunity to work on it. So we raise the hood, put 2 rounds in both of the front wedge bolts, raise the whole truck up.
Now, you got to clarify, because when you say put 2 rounds in something on our show, we're thinking you're shooting something.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, were you that ticked off at the engine?
Did you use a 9mm or 40? What'd you shoot?
we used a 1/2-inch drive.
Oh, okay. There you
go. But basically what we call putting rounds in is, for anyone new to NASCAR, when you see, traditionally it's done in the back of the car. You seldom ever see it done in the front during an actual pit stop. But what that is, when you see guys stick a wrench in the back and turn it, that's what they're doing, is they're either raising the track bar or putting rounds on the spring, which there's a wedge bolt that will can put more or less weight on each spring, which will effectively raise or lower that corner of the vehicle, whichever spring you're adjusting. And the reason you don't, there are holes in the back because, so you can make quick adjustments in the back of the truck, but in the front you have to raise the hood, and you don't commonly see that during the race unless you have something major going on.
Right.
And we gave up all we gave up all our track position doing that, but it was worth it because I had to gave up all of the track position, and I was the last truck on the track, and I think in like 3 laps I was 10th.
Yeah, you jumped up quick.
Yeah.
Now, another thing you did, was it that pit stop where you got the penalty?
No, it was the next one.
Okay. So talk about that.
So we end up having a long run. We have to come in pit for fuel. And when you go 100, I think the pit road speed was like 55 miles an hour. When you're going 190 and you have to slow down to 55, it's a bit of a challenge. And I didn't quite get it slowed down enough before I got to where the pit road speed limit starts, and we got busted for speeding. So I had to come back in after the pit stop, and
what that does is that cost you a lap, right?
Yes, it did.
Which had me laughing my butt off because I texted Left Hand, and I was like, "What happened? Why did he drop back so far?" And all he texted me back, he got caught speeding. I'm like, it's a freaking race. I'm like, what the heck is this? He got caught speeding.
Yeah, there's a speed limit on pit road just for crew member safety.
And the miscalculation came where you thought you were in one gear and you were in a different gear because you guys don't have a speedometer on there. You got to gauge your RPMs.
Well,
actually,
right? I knew I was in 4th gear. I just didn't get it. I didn't have it slowed down enough to go to 2nd gear without over revving the engine.
I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt there. Okay.
Yeah,
and then. But fortunately,
a caution came out halfway through the cycle of pit stops, and I got to there's a couple ways you can get a lap back. One being the lucky dog, which is the first car or truck 1 lap down get their lap back each caution. And then also there's what's called a waiver round, and the concept of the waiver round is basically designed for the same exact reason. Say if you're making green flag pit stops and like half the guys stop, then the caution comes out before the other guys pit, then everybody that pitted is trapped a lap down and basically puts them out of the race. So there's a rule that when a caution comes out and all the lead lap cars in front of you, cars or trucks in front of you pit, you actually get to pass the pace car and come back around and restart at the back, which it still hurts you because you have all the lap down vehicles. As far as the position on the track, you're starting farther back, but it really saves you because at least effectively your race is over if you're lap down,
right?
And it gives you the opportunity.
Which was your case,
right?
But then you got
the
lucky dog.
No, it was the waiver round. So we got to come back and everything was good after that.
Yeah,
until I started hitting stuff.
Yeah, till you lost your aerodynamics. Mm-hmm. But then they were able to, after a couple more stops, to get your aerodynamics back.
Yeah, there was a wreck into 3, and I got a little piece of that, got knocked sideways and ran down through the apron, and it tore up both of the front fenders and knocked the toe, in which the toe is where the front wheels pointed the same direction, and it knocked the toe out an inch, which scrubbed off a ton. At Daytona and Talladega, we adjust the toe by like a 32nd of an inch.
Very, very minor.
Yeah, and it knocked it out an inch. So, and plus, not to mention that the way that the body damage, it wasn't up to par. But my guys did an incredible job. I was really proud of the pit crew getting that thing fixed. We came and made a bunch of stops, and they did a lot of work to it, and got the truck. It never was as good as it was at the beginning of the race, but we got it back, considering what it had been through. Mm-hmm. Got it back in really good shape. I was very proud of them.
Which that was crazy too, because that first wreck where all that happened, it didn't look like anything on TV. It looked like he just barely brushed you, and you kind of got away from him down on the
apron.
I almost said curtain. On the apron, the flat part. And I was like, oh, okay, he dodged it. And then all of a sudden, he texted me. He's like, oh, his aerodynamics are shot. All right, yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about it. The wreck at the end. That was the moment where I actually stood up.
Coming in on lap 2, what position were you?
2 laps left, you mean?
Yeah, 2 laps left. Coming on the final 2 laps. I think you were what?
13th or 15th.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think you were around 15th or 16th, something like that.
Yeah.
And the way it was looking, that's the way the race was going to end, because those 6 guys were doing the dragonfly. I call it the dragonfly.
The tandem. There you
go. They were doing the tandem.
Yeah, just call into a NASCAR radio show and talk about the dragonfly.
The dragonfly.
Yeah.
They're going to go, what the hell?
Yeah.
Well,
we may start something new.
Know. Yeah, it's the talking lead dragonfly, and it looked like that was going to be it was going to be one of those 6 somehow. However, they slung around and did their drafting stuff was going to be it. But then
there was a miscalculation of their tandem.
Slightly.
Yeah,
wiped out everybody.
It went all to hell
quickly.
And what was awesome was it was right in front of the pits. It was right there where we were. So,
one guy ended up on his roof.
Were you filming that? I actually saw.
Yeah.
Okay, that video going around is you. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that was me out there on the track. I was like,
on the track?
I got to get closer. No.
That's why they wrecked. They were dodging left hand.
Well, I posted a thing on our Facebook page with the pictures, and I said, it looks like what did it say? I said it looks like left hand tapped into everybody's frequency.
Oh, and caused the
wreck.
Mm.
Yeah, because the picture before that said, "Oh, did you look at the pictures?" Yeah, so, I posted one that said Facebook's talking to Clay, telling Clay, "Hey, Clay, left turn." And Clay says, "Who let that jackwagon on the mic? Get him off there." And then the next one was the big wreck. The next picture was like, looks like left hand hacked into all the frequencies.
And then it looked like you were going to shoot through it all because the guy that landed on his roof was going down the slope.
How did it look from your perspective?
Ugly.
Because you were kind of behind.
Yeah.
Did you see it happening? Could you oh, hell, here it comes?
Yeah, I saw it start to wreck. And in those things, it's sort of like equivalent if you can imagine a firework tent being set on fire and you're standing inside and trying to miss. That's pretty much what it looks like inside the truck when a wreck like that happens. So I missed a lot of them, just not the one.
Not the one that
I missed all of them but one.
He was like a magnet. I mean, you couldn't get away from the guy.
But the thing about it is he was down the inside of the track and got turned up on his roof and spun up the track in front of me. And we're coming to the checkered, so I hadn't lifted that. It comes to a time when there's a decision. I knew I was taking a chance on sacrificing the truck by staying in it, but if I was going to gain all those positions, if I got to the line without crashing into something. So once I saw him coming up, I knew I wasn't going to be able to miss him, so I started, which there was very little time to react, but I started slowing down, and I think I got a good 30, 40 miles an hour scrubbed off before I hit him. But this is honestly the first times I've ever been scared racing, and I wasn't scared for my safety. I was scared for him because I hit him. Yeah, I hit him in his window net because he was
in that weak spot.
Yeah, he was upside down with the driver's side facing me. And the trucks are extremely safe when they're on 4 wheels because that's how they're designed to be. But we have a truck here behind us. If you look on the when it's sitting on the ground, you've got bars about every 4 inches, protecting the driver. But when you're upside down, there's about a 2 foot by 2 foot area that's just wide open, and that's where I hit him. And I was terrified that he was hurt bad. And when it happened, it knocked I was talking about toe a little bit earlier. It knocked the toe out of my truck about 1.5 feet, and so there was no steering it. I couldn't steer it after that. And then the way the wreck happened, he ended up in front of me, and I hit him several more times because his truck was sliding. It was up on his roof. It was sliding on asphalt. My truck was still on wheels.
Because you guys were up on that turn,
right?
And gravity slowing it down.
And his truck was slowing down faster than I could get mine slowed down, so I'd hit him and knock him forward, and then hit him again and knock him forward because I couldn't get it stopped. And I was trying everything I could to get off of him because I knew how bad of a place I'd hit him, and here I am keeping on hitting him in that weak spot. And
so you probably hit him about 150 miles an hour or so.
Yeah, which I'm
first initially.
Yeah, which he was moving too, so it wasn't like when you actually calculated it, it was not like he was completely stopped, but
a head-on collision or anything.
But yeah, that's we were going at least that fast.
And was he okay?
Yes, he was. And if you watch the race, as I got out of my truck and went running, I was the first one to him because I was.
They showed that.
I was in a panic, and with and he's one of my good friends also. If you don't want to see that happen to anybody, and then throw in being your buddy on top of that. I was pretty scared and got over there, and I've never been so more relieved in my life.
Now, did you push him across the finish line?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I was afraid to.
Somebody you are.
Just stay in there. I'm gonna push you.
I'll get you across, little buddy.
You okay? All right, he's good. I'm gonna push him across.
I was concerned that any impact would be bad for him. And when I got over to it, I don't know how much I should really talk about, but the way that the roll cage was, it would not have been good for him to get hit any more at all than he did. It was. I mean, it's really. Thank God he's okay, because it was really.
Yeah. Nobody was hurt in that.
No,
right?
it was really a miracle that he got out of that. Now, one of the drivers, I think, broke a thumb.
Is that the one they took to the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he was actually in the bed beside me in the care center.
Gotcha.
Anytime you have a wreck and you can't drive your truck back, they make you go to the infield care center. And at Talladega, it was like a big driver's party back there, because there's about 15 or 20 of us. And
all right, who was hitting on the nurses?
That was. We do give the nurses a hard time.
I like the weighted pause there.
He's like, how'd he know?
Especially one that there's we'll see what the way it is. There are 3 or 4 NASCAR liaison nurses that go to all the races, so we get to know them, and we're all friends with them, and have a relationship outside of the care center. And then is the local doctors for each area actually work the care center, so it's a mix of people we know versus people we don't know. And so I give the people I know a hard time. And it's one of those.
So apparently you're in there a lot. Well, we're getting nods back here from the peanut gallery.
Yeah. But one of the things they do, and I wanted to get in and out of there as quick as possible. So one thing they do is they ask you all kinds of questions, trying to get you to make you say something silly to find out if you have a concussion, or if anything's wrong. So I was making jokes with them just to sort of hopefully expedite the process and let them know I was okay, or they get me out. But unfortunately, they stuck that dadgum little CO2 sensor on my finger, and you're supposed to be a 2, and I was like a 12, and they wouldn't let me leave until I was a 6. So I had to stay there and take oxygen for, I don't know, it seemed like 12 hours, but I think it was about 30 minutes.
Yeah, you're back there a while.
Yeah, but where I was going with the drivers' party, just the difference in Martinsville, where we're going this week, versus Talladega. There's a big wreck at the end, and half the field's in there in the care center. We're all walking around, checking on each other, shaking hands, and hugging. And then next week at Martinsville is a half-mile flat track. We'll all be fighting after that race.
How long was Talladega?
2.66.
Oh wow! And this is half mile.
Yeah. So just the grassy area from pit road to the racetrack is bigger than what the whole racetrack at Martinsville is. So totally different style of racing, and we all loved each other when we left Talladega. We all hate each other Saturday after Martinsville.
Man, you're gonna be packed in like sardines on that track.
Now, will that one be televised too?
Oh yeah, all the races are. Fox Sports 1.
I'll be watching it.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a party. We're not going to be able to make it to this one, but we'll definitely get a party up and do a Clay Greenfield, number 68, Talking Lead, Clutch Defense, Rescue Ranch.
Now, part of the appeal from last week's episode that we've heard from fans is that we were new to NASCAR, and you've been around guns your whole life, but you're relatively new to.
I'm just not as informed about them as
my buddy's got a what's it called? The gangster gun.
The gangster gun.
Which we figured out was a 1911 that you're wanting to get. So
yeah, and then you just mentioned to us earlier that you think
my gun is a 38.
38. Is it a revolver?
Yes.
Okay, revolver. Yeah. And I was going to grill you a little bit. I let you ride last time, but this is the second time around.
Oh boy! So we've developed that.
We're bonded.
We got that bond now.
We're over everything now.
So you can hang me out to dry and not feel bad about it now. I see how it is.
So we were talking about the shotgun that you have, and we said, is it a pump action or a semi-auto? And you said, I don't know. It's just you pull the trigger and it shoots.
Exactly.
So
what else do you need to know?
Does it have an action where you pump it?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a pump action shotgun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Semi-auto doesn't have the pump. So as you shoot, it just automatically loads another shell in there to where the pump is what does it for you without. So
unlike your revolver,
which you can continue to pull the trigger.
Semi-auto.
And did we determine it's a 38 special?
More than likely,
it probably is. Is
yeah.
it what?
See, off air they asked me, "Is it a special?" And I said, "Well, it's special to me."
Of course, it is to you.
Exactly,
it is special to him.
It was actually my grandfather's gun that he gave to me. So,
do you know what brand it is?
Why do you have to ask these questions?
He's like, no.
Because I know the next time we have you on, you're going to be like, do you know this about a NASCAR car? And I'm like,
It's got a brown handle and a black barrel.
Do you have it with
it
you?
may be the same
No,
one.
I don't have it with me.
Okay, we would go over it with you and get you familiar with it if you had it. Bring it next time,
Okay,
and we will. Go,
I'll do that.
We'll
Once
review it with
once
you.
your
And we need to
season-
go to the range and shoot it.
Yes,
Yes,
we will.
Yeah.
That's on our plan. When you get back from Martinsville, we're going to get together and we're going to get a range day, probably up at. I'm going to say it wrong again. 5-star.
Yep.
Yep, we're going to go to 5-star. You'll like it up there. It's a pretty cool range.
Sounds good. Looking
Shoot all
forward
kinds
to
of
it.
good stuff.
That's one of the things I really enjoy doing. I just haven't had the opportunity / taken the time to do, and gives me a good excuse to go do it.
Yeah. Do you hunt still?
No, that's sort of when I started racing. Racing took over, and it's so time consuming. It's kind of when I'm not racing, I just don't want to do anything.
You're
Sure.
at the Titans
Yeah,
game.
I just want to have a break. Yeah, exactly. do make it to the Titans game.
You made it back for the Titans game?
Oh,
Sunday?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, he was sitting
Yeah.
front row.
Oh, you made it back for that
it-
monstrosity of a.
It was actually
Garbage can.
Woody, one of my crew guys' 40th birthday, so we had a big party at the Titans game yesterday.
Okay.
Is Woody the guy that was in the pit?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I got my picture made with Woody.
yeah. He's the one that you were filming like right over his face, and he kind of like did something. You're like, "Hey, I thought it was okay to film you," and he was like, "Yeah, but not right in my face."
Oh, were you like right up in his grill?
I don't know. I might have been. I was excited. I was just filming everything. I was like, I gotta get that. Gotta get that.
It was slightly unnerving having him follow around with that thing because you never know when you're going to say something off color or whatever that might end up on the internet.
Just tell us.
Because I don't trust y'all for a minute.
You can trust us.
I don't know.
We're not gonna
Maybe.
make our buddies look bad. Just don't cross us.
How's Clutch Defense doing in the week since we've been gone? Y'all launched the website, right?
Yes, the website went live on Friday evening, I think.
Okay.
And had a lot of visitors come to the site.
Nice.
There's haven't got the final. It'll be a couple weeks before we get the final impression numbers, and we'll also get the actual data for Talking Lead also,
Know where it came from.
and the rescue ranch to see exactly what dollar value of exposure there
Yeah.
was from the event. So
Sure. And
looking forward to it.
we do have a code now, officially Talking Lead 68. If you go to clutchdefense.com and type in Talking Lead 68, that is the code to get a
That works
discount.
on everything except ammo.
Ammo right now. They're working on figuring out what the discount
they're
going to
come up with an ammo discount for you guys, our lead heads. So
just because there's not a whole lot of markup
hang in there with us.
so.
Yeah. And the other stuff they got on there is awesome too. And they're constantly, you guys are going to continue to expand your inventory.
Exactly. This is just due to the race at Talladega, we just barely got the website up in time because we wanted to have somewhere where people, for people to go.
Mm-hmm.
If the racing was, if we weren't involved with the race sponsorship, we would have waited a couple months before we launched the website just to have it 100%. But there's, we're adding items every day.
Yeah.
So
plus, this was a great venue to unveil it.
Yeah, and just keep going back to the website because there's always going to be more and more stuff on it, and we hope to have thousands of items on eventually.
And that's clutchdefense.com,
Mm-hmm.
where they can go and do that. I got to meet Lloyd while I was there, also your partner.
Yes,
He's a hoot,
he's a
man.
character.
He is. And he knows. Apparently, he's from the NASCAR world. He was kind of
that's actually how him and I got together.
Yeah, he was kind of my.
And when I say got
guide.
together, I mean in a business way.
I hope.
I wasn't going to go there, but you brought it up.
We don't judge.
Hey, I just beat you to it. I knew it was probably coming, so I thought it'd sound better coming from me.
You saw Zeke's eyes looking
yeah,
up.
he perked up.
Yeah. But no, he's a great guy. He knows a lot about NASCAR. He was telling me everything that was going on. I mean, he told me more than I wanted to know about tires, but it was a good lesson.
Hey guys, was the truck I drove, was it a downforce truck or a low drag truck?
Downforce.
Low drag.
Well, one of you's
us is
right.
I'm thinking it's downforce because as you go faster, it gets lower.
I'm thinking downforce. What did I say? Low drag?
The other one.
I'm saying low
Are
drag.
you going to let him talk you into downforce?
Because it's more aerodynamic and has less drag.
From the guy that doesn't know anything at all
got it
about it,
right?
has never been to a race. Yeah, he got it right. But But at most of the tracks, you want a high downforce track because you're worried about keeping the maximum traction on the tires. But at those Daytona and Talladega, you want it to be as low drag as possible because it makes it go faster.
So what will you have next week or this weekend?
Downforce for sure.
Downforce. Okay.
And you're working on that car right now, or truck right now.
No, I'm actually talking to you two jackwagons right now. But
so we are the jackwagon
of the week.
Yeah. but
double jackwagon.
Well, we're done anyway.
After that, I'll be working on the truck.
Well, tell us a little bit about what's coming up with.
Well, I was going to let you go, but he's going to.
Well, they're getting antsy back here. They're wanting you to go here and work on the truck. So, just a quick thing. What's coming up with Martinsville and the race? Give our listeners a. Clue in here.
Like I spoke a little bit about earlier, Martinsville's a flat half-mile track, a lot of beating and banging. See, at Talladega, we couldn't make. You saw what happens when you make very slight contact.
Yeah.
At Martinsville, there'll be a lot of beating and banging and
be intentional contact there, won't there?
Exactly.
A little more violent.
And so
that is this Saturday.
Yes.
On Fox Sports 1, the Camping World Series,
NASCAR Camping World Truck Series.
Okay.
You'll get it one day.
I'll say it different every time. So
yeah.
As long as people can put those together and Google it one way or the other, they're going to find it. Right?
Well, at least I know how to say clay, green, wood. I'm just kidding.
And the next time I come on Lead Talk, I'll straighten you guys out.
Nice.
That was
awesome. Yeah. At least we got it right on the truck.
No, Clay, we appreciate it again, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll let you get to working on the truck.
And this Saturday, we know what time?
It's 1:30 Eastern or Central. I'm not sure which one it is, but sometime in that range.
We'll post it on the Facebook for everybody.
Check the guide.
On the Facebook. I think you just aged yourself.
Facebook.
And
it was on the face space.
Everybody go check out Clutch Defense Daily because there's new items, clutchdefense.com daily because there's new items added every day. And
use that Talking Lead discount.
Look forward to you don't really have to use the discount, but if you want to, you can.
Talking Lead 68.
But
68 car.
Yeah, look forward to coming back and we'll go shoot some stuff.
Cool. Absolutely.
We'll do it.
Good luck this week.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. So I'm glad Clay was able to get through that crash all right. You had a good time when you were down there, right?
No, it sucked, man. It was horrible. I didn't enjoy myself at all.
I had a blast watching it. It was fun.
Oh my gosh, man! It was unbelievable. I didn't sit down the whole time, and we were there for what, 4 hours or so.
Wow.
I didn't sit down the whole time. I was moving around, checking stuff out, videoing, taking pictures, getting on the headset, thinking I was talking to him, but luckily they had my mic turned off.
Well, we're gonna do a little. I guess we'd call it the State of the Union of Talking Lead right now.
We need to get rid of this elephant that's in the room.
Yeah, I'll play.
That's not you.
I'm not that big. Basically, Talking Lead and the Firearms Radio Network, we've decided to part ways with them. No hard feelings. We hope the best for everybody there. We love all the guys on the network, and we hope they do great.
Carol, Zach,
Hank, Reed.
All those guys. Still love them.
Steve.
Julie.
All the M's. But yeah, they've got a great thing going.
Good folks.
And we hope the best for them. We just, we've decided
the Markles
kind of go a different direction. But as far as the show goes, it's going to be the same. It's going to post every Friday. We've actually got some new stuff that's going to be added to our show, such as on our website. We've got what, Left Hand?
We have got a forum section.
That's right. We have launched a forum section on the website where you can go and you can discuss pretty much any topic related to firearms or our show.
Kind of like you've been doing on our Facebook page, but you can go here and it's a more broad.
Organized.
Is that what it is?
It's more organized. Facebook's kind of all over the place. You got to keep up with one post and follow it, and it may disappear. But this is, you go there, it's all categorized in little folders, and just like you would do on AR15.com or any of those gun forums out there. But we're going to launch a little gun forum so y'all have a place to go either and moan about us or just talk about the latest gun stuff. There's actually a couple good posts up there now. One of them, one of our listeners it may have even been Jerome. Looking,
our man on the street?
Yeah, our man on the street.
Talking Lead on the street?
What was it he called?
Talking Lead Head on the street.
Straight shooting on the street. That's what he said. He is asking everybody in the forums what gun magazines should he subscribe to. So, I mean, just little things like that. Any questions you got, you can throw up there, whether it's that reloading or handguns or hunting or whatever. Also on the website, it's going to be the usual. We'll have our sponsor links. You can go in there and click on those. We're going to put up a news section, and we're going to be more active on the news section, posting new things that come up, so you'll be able to make it your one-stop shop for learning about all the firearms. News.
Latest news breaking, whether it's somebody getting shot or somebody not getting shot, or somebody picking their nose.
Somebody being a jackwagon. We're probably
even
going
to see all the boogers up your nose right now, by the way.
You like that?
Yeah, it's like zoomed in up your nose.
If Left Hand sounds a little different than he did in the beginning of the show, it's actually because this is 2 days later, and he's on Skype, and I'm on Skype, and the way the camera is angled, it's like shooting right up my nose right now. So, and now he's showing me his. All right, man, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I need to trim that.
That's disgusting.
Look at my locks. Look at my golden brown locks. Golden brown.
Hey, this is radio there, Hoss. Nobody can see it. I'm not going to say what he's showing me now. Anyways.
They go to our Facebook page and look at all those photos of my flowing brown Herculaic hair.
Herculaic? Wouldn't that be Herculean?
Herculean-like. Hercules-like. Herculaic. I don't know.
It'll work. We're also going to post a Jackwagon page on the website. So we're going to go back and listen to all the episodes, and we're going to post the Jackwagons of the week, date them, maybe even make a redemption.
Put pictures of everybody, and then
we might even make a little redemption site where, like, if they come out against what they had already said, maybe we'll throw them in a little.
Has anybody done that?
No, they're all still Jackwagons.
Yeah,
I've still got my finger crossed.
Except me. I get to come off there.
Yeah. I've been on there, too, before.
You hadn't been on there. When have you been on there?
Didn't I say something or do something?
You never threw yourself on the train.
I guess I didn't. I'm sure I will at some point.
Mine was self-invoked.
Left Hand will be the first redemption guy.
There we go.
So as far as the iTunes feed, there were some issues in the transitions. iTunes has the old feed still showing up on there. So if you're already subscribed to our show from months ago, your smartphone that's where most people are having the issues.
Yeah.
Delete that feed, go back, research Talking Lead. The new feed will pop up. If you search for Talking Lead, the old feed will not pop up.
Don't research as in study about it.
Yes. Search for Talking Lead, and the new feed will pop up.
Do another search.
New feed will pop up, resubscribe to us, and you'll be able to get all the shows. And I'm gradually putting all the back episodes up. Due to server space, I can only do a certain amount over a certain amount of time. We should have all of them back up within 2 months. But as far as new episodes go, those will constantly be coming out every Friday.
Our regularly scheduled time.
Si, senor. Oh, talking about the forums, our winner for the trivia this week actually came from posting it on the website and the forums. And the winner for the trivia, and the question was, what was the highest rank that Clay finished in a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, and what race was it? Which the answer was?
Finished 10th at Daytona.
And the winner of the trivia for this week is going to be David V.
So David V. Congratulations, David.
David V., who posted on our website. You are the winner. Send us your contact information on talkinglead@gmail.com. You know, some other good news coming up. We've got a handful of big events that we're going to. In 2 weeks, we are going to the Seal Legacy Foundation Gala. We'll be interviewing some really big names there. Y'all will really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And then in January?
Next week, I'm going to a retirement for Reaper 01.
Yep, that should be fun. I wish I could go, but prior commitments got me. Also in January,
January is SHOT Show.
Yep, January SHOT Show.
Going to Vegas, baby.
We got a ton of footage there and some audio too.
Some great interviews. February, we've got a couple of things coming up. One definite, the Rescue Ranch fundraiser that we're going to be taking part in, and that's another one of our charities that we're on board with, www.rescueranch.com, and they are out of Statesville, North Carolina. They're a nonprofit animal welfare organization, and what that charity is it's headed by Ryan and Chrissy Newman. Ryan Newman is the famous NASCAR driver. Chrissy is his wife. The Rescue Ranch will conduct a variety of programs aimed at fulfilling its primary goal of ending pet overpopulation and associated suffering by promoting and providing for the humane care, protection, and control of domestic animals.
Awesome.
What they're raising money for is they're building a whole another wing to their organization down there. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We've got a really cool donation giveaway. Talking Lead is going to be sponsoring, and you guys are going to be really stoked about it. We can't announce what that is yet, but trust me, you're going to want to get on board with it.
And how we kind of tie into all that is it's going to be a shooting competition fundraiser. So they're going to have a big range day shooting competition to raise funds for the rescue ranch.
As that becomes more solidified, we'll give you more details.
And on top of all that, we have the usual guests that we'll have coming in, and we've got some really big-name guests coming up in the next few months, too. So everything's going to be the same on Talking Lead. You don't have to worry about that. We're not turning into a NASCAR show. We promise.
No, not at all. I mean, and as you guys saw from our last show, I mean, we tie in firearms somehow, some way with everything that we do.
Yep.
So just trust us when you see us going a different route that we're not going to take you too far off the Talking Lead path. Halloween's coming up, too. You do anything for Halloween?
No, but I've got some cool ideas for YouTube videos. Actually, you know what? Listeners, if you got a cool video idea for Halloween, something with guns, let us know. Of course, Hickok has the market cornered on carving pumpkins with guns, but
yeah. So something new, innovative. Shoot us your ideas on that, and
but it has to involve guns, not just left-handed eye trick or treating. And we'd love to thank our sponsors:
ICE Training, ICEtraining.us,
US Elite Gear. That's us-elitegear.com. And enter the code Talking Lead, and you'll get a discount there. US Elite Gear, it's a cool site. They have everything. They have boots, backpacks, jackets, clothes, anything that you need for your kit they can get for you.
Sports supplements on there.
If you don't see it on their site, you can actually get a hold of them, and they'll try to find what you're looking for, as long as it's not guns.
And you got a cool Sunto watch there, too, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Awesome watch.
We'd also like to thank Holder and Green Professional Real Estate Services, HG Press. Call them at 1-800-615-1840 for all your Middle Tennessee real estate needs.
All or Nothing Tattoo Studio. That's allornothingtattoo.com, and their gun-friendly merchandise store, strangleholdmerch.com.
And we'd like to thank our partner sponsors, Ergo Grips, and you can find them at ergogrips.net. We also like to thank Clutch Defense. They are a new company starting up that's going to be selling ammo, and they are up and running right now, so you guys can go to their website, clutchdefense.com, and we're going to have some cool things coming up with them. And if you go to their website and use the discount code TalkingLead68, you'll get a nice little discount from them as well.
That's spell out Talking Lead and the number 68.
And we'd like to thank our buddy Barry Clapp over at Graphic Effects for those awesome wraps and the lettering and our logo that you saw on Clay's race car. Barry Clapp at Graphic Effects LLC. Check him out on Facebook.
And as always, left hand, keep your loved ones close
and your firearms closer.